What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. Yesterday, did a live. Talked about Big U. The situation that's going down with Big U. The RICO that Big U is now caught up in with several other individuals. And I just want to say, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I called it a long time ago. All this stuff going on with No Jumper, all this loose talk going on at No Jumper, it was going to lead to something. You know, No Jumper went from a hip hop platform to a platform that just talks gang politics, whether it be in LA, more focused on LA, or Chicago. Since when did real street dudes get on camera, people still in the field get on camera and talk about stuff to a square? When have we ever seen a square like Adam 16 be so confident and comfortable around so-called street dudes? Sex playing them, raising his voice to them. So whoever keeps going on No Jumper, I'm gonna put a question mark on you. I really am. That platform does nothing for anyone but Adam 16 and the feds. It is a great investigative tool for the authorities. What goes on at No Jumper? Perfect investigative tool. Task Force No Jumper, we should call it. They should change the name to Task Force No Jumper. You don't need gang units in all these cities now. Just wait for your local gangster to be invited on No Jumper. He'll do the work for you, and they'll be happy to talk to him. I watched the videos that Big U was putting out as he was on his way to turn himself in. Having done a lot of time myself, I'm looking at him, I'm looking at his eyes, I'm listening to his words, and one thing he kept asking for was prayers and help. And anyone who's really been in the streets, you know, it takes a lot for a man to ask for help. And he asked for people to help him and his family since everyone had turned on him. You know, I see all these dudes, and I'm going to keep it to the three he named. 600, Brick, and Loose Cannon. All three of these dudes claim to be from Rolling 60s. And when I look at the four of them, Big U, Brick, 600, and Loose Cannon, the only one that carries himself and conducts himself like Rolling 60s that I've met through the system is Big U. The only one out of them that has any kind of reputation in the streets from his past is Big U. The other three have internet reputations. No resume. No resume that anybody can speak of or brag about in that world. I'm old school. I'm of the belief that whatever's going on in your neighborhood is your neighborhood business. I was a proponent of that. I pushed it very hard when I was doing my thing in the neighborhood, for the neighborhood. I would make sure the homies knew, hey, West Side business is West Side business. Ain't nobody else's business. We don't put our business in anybody else's ear. And what you see 600 doing, Loose Cannon, Brick, what you see them doing, that's not what real street dudes do. That's what internet cats do. And the cold thing is, maybe Brick can blame the drugs that he's always using, but the other two don't have that excuse. You know, 600 did a skit. Allegedly, according to him, it was a skit pulling up to Big U's house. But he admitted, he made a new video today talking about he's laughing at Big U. I'm sure you are. I'm sure you are. You never went to go see him, though. But as soon as you heard that there was a raid, you pulled up, huh? You pulled up with a badge and a security beanie. There's no real street dude that wants to put cop on himself. Label himself a cop. Not even joking. I look at 600's comment section. Even before this, it's a mess. Nobody's respecting that individual. Loose Cannon just put out a video. He had a falling out recently with allegedly with Whack 100 and 600, right? And he said that they were doing police stuff. And he said specifically 600 was doing police stuff because he's the one that came out with the video saying that some youngster that was found dead had Big U's DNA under his nails. And Loose Cannon said that's police stuff. You don't do shit like that. Yet, first time I ever saw Loose Cannon on No Jumper, he was with Whack 100 talking about Big U called him and said that Nipsey was dead when Nipsey was still alive, and he insinuated that Big U is the reason why Nipsey is no longer here. How was that different? You were trying to put Nipsey's body on Big U. But 600 trying to put a youngster's body on Big U was wrong. What you were doing was okay, but what 600 did and was doing and still trying to do is wrong. You're both wrong. You know, we were live last night and apparently No Jumper was live. And I'm going to keep it real. I saw some raza in there with them. It's a damn shame, man. All the allegations against Adam, 16. And then all this weird shit. You guys can't figure it out? You're still right there smiling, huh? Okay. Sooner or later, you're going to be sitting in a cell, some of you, feeling real stupid. You ain't going to be able to blame nobody but yourself. But Adam, in that live, he made a statement. He called Big U by a derogatory term.
Free Big Uterus.
Who in the fuck is this dude to be talking like that? How is it that nobody in that room called him on that and said, man, why are you disrespecting that dude? You ain't a street dude. You're not one of his ops. How are you a square and you're disrespecting that man's name when that man's name has been known in the streets forever? So we've been watching now for what, a year or two? Right after the split between Big U and Whack 100, there's been constant attacks on Big U. And you hear these dudes constantly talking about Big U. And I'm going to say something. Big U mentioned Whack 100. And I know all these other dudes want to say he does cop shit. He's a cop and all this other stuff. But I didn't hear Big U say that. He actually said, from what I heard, that Whack 100 canceled all his contracts. They were beefing. And Wack was playing chess. He was cutting off the money. I didn't hear him accuse Wack of the bullshit that them other three were doing. So I want to make that clear just from my perception, from what I saw, right? But after the fallout between Wack and Big U, all these weirdos came out. And they kept trying to antagonize this dude through the internet, though. Not one of them ever pulled up on him. They actually weren't even going to the 60s. They weren't going to the Hood Day. They weren't going around. Brick, like, mended fences and, but the other two, Loose Cannon and 600, you don't see them go nowhere near the 60s. Matter of fact, every time you see 600, he has the camera in a perfect angle when he's in his home, when he's in the safety of his own home, when he's on these trips, alleged trips all over the world, the camera's at a perfect angle, just like this. You ever notice when he's in his car, the camera's down? So the only thing you can see is him and the top of the car. He don't want you seeing the location. He don't want you to see where he's at. That dude's a coward. And this is not my business. This is 60s business, right? But I guarantee you, there's some funny dudes. One, if not more, of these dudes that Big U called out is going to wind up exactly what we think they are. And I don't think anybody's going to be surprised, right? Big U did his thing in the streets, was a big part of the rolling 60s getting a reputation that was respected on the streets as well as in prison. He got out from doing his time, changed the way he was living, but these suckers who could never have a reputation like him, instead of going out and building that reputation, they just kept taking shots at his name, smutting him up. Real street dudes, real convicts, real crooks, criminals, they saw through the bullshit. It's all these other dudes that are built the same exact way as Loose, 600, and Brick that sucked it up. Adam 16 will continue to be a threat to the black community as long as the black community embraces him, supports him, and shows up on his podcast. How many people have been incarcerated after being on that show? How many people have lost their lives after being on that show? And how many times has he laughed about it? Sooner or later, maybe people will learn. I doubt it. People like drama. That's why all these Big U videos are blowing up right now. And it's unfortunate. I hope people that have the means do help Big U. It'll be a damn shame if you got Loose Cannon supposedly incarcerated right now in custody, and you got Brick Baby supposedly in custody. It would be a damn shame if they get more support than the one that's real. The one that's really from 60s. But in my experience, it always seems to be the case. I hope Big U can beat this case. I hope he can prove his innocence. I give a damn about Adam and all his fucking weirdos around him. That's my video for today, man. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Everybody, please be safe. Be smart and tell the ones you love that you love them, man. I'm out of here.